Hi there. So it is super late on Monday evening, but I am bringing you my weekly market update as I promised I would. So I just want to share with you my own experiences from the past week and also share with you the numbers on the multiple listing services. Keep in mind these are my own experiences. This is not what every agent is out there experiencing. Every one of us are different. This business is different, and every situation is different. It's been a little bit of a tedious week. I've had several clients that have been delayed on their closing that they weren't expecting. I've got some people who actually are not back to work yet, and we've got to get them back to work before we can go to closing. And of course, they don't know when they're going back to work yet. So it's just a lot of stress for everybody. It's a lot of stress for the buyers, and it's a lot of stress for the sellers. So it just requires a lot of extra patience for these people who are still off work. Some of the appraisals are definitely being delayed. I've experienced that. I know not everybody's experiencing that, but I have experienced that several times here in the past few weeks. So the appraisers, I think, are just on complete overload. The rates are really low, and I think a lot of people are refinancing right now. So it's just incredibly busy. Earlier today, though, I did send an email out to several loan officers that I work with, and I found it really interesting because most of them, it is business as usual. I mean, they have not slowed down. They're still closing loans very quickly. They haven't had any delays. So things are moving right along. Some of them have definitely mentioned that they've increased their minimum credit score. And then on the flip side of that, I even had a lender tell me that she can do an FHA loan with a minimum credit score under 600. So that's incredible. And that gives more options and it opens up doors for other buyers. So if you have questions about that, be sure to give me a call and we'll talk to her about what the program consists of and what we need to do. So, with all of that being said, I guess what I'm trying to say is it just requires a little extra patience with everything that we're dealing with. I know it's incredibly hard as a buyer because inventory is low, there's not a lot out there for you to look at. And then a lot of times you do end up in a multiple offer situation in some of these price ranges. I mean, it is just incredibly competitive in some price ranges. And then as a seller, you might have expectations that your house is going to sell right away and it's not selling right away. And then we've got others that are selling so quickly. I mean, there's no rhyme or reason for it. It's just one of those things that you've got to be patient. You've got to focus on pricing as a seller, and you've got to focus on if there's anything that you can do to improve the home, and of course, make it available for people to come and look at, which I know is incredibly difficult with the stay at home order. Plus, you've got children, plus, you've got animals. I mean, it is very, very difficult. So, like I said, I guess I'm basically just saying that we all need to show each other a lot of grace. And I know I'm repeating myself with this, but we just all need to work together and we will get these properties sold. So, let's move on to the numbers. If we look at the local multiple listing, and remember, this is just residential, and this is our local multiple listing service for Clark and Champaign County. In Clark County, we had 18 new active listings, 13 listings went pending, and we had 26 houses close. In Champaign County, they had 13 new active listings. They had 6 pending listings. I wish one of those were one of my really nice listings in Champaign County. And then they had 7 listings close. Now, I'm going to go ahead and switch gears and share with you the Dayton and Columbus market, which is not something I want you to compare to Springfield because they are much broader areas and they also can even spill over into our area. They'll pick up our numbers as well. So it's just very unfair, but I do want you to know what's happening in those markets. With the Dayton MLS, they had 77 houses go pending with 236 new active listings, and they had 285 houses close. In the Columbus market, they had 431 houses go active. They had 66 houses go pending. Now, if I include the phrase, the criteria, contingent, financing and inspections, in that pending that the pending number, there are actually 754 houses that went under contract. So that contingent financing inspections that you'll see on the MLS, what that means is that this agent has put the house under contract, but they have not done the appraisal and they have not performed the inspections yet. Once both of those items are taken care of and they're done, everything is good, they will mark the listing pending at that point. So it's very confusing because a lot of times when buyers are scrolling on those websites or on those apps, they see that word contingent, they automatically think that it means that the person has a house to sell, and that's not the case a lot of the times. Now, that is a contingency, but that's a different one. And then they had 391 houses close in the Columbus market. So, as you can see, the market is most certainly moving. Houses are still selling, inventory is still low. So, it is incredibly crucial that if you're a buyer in the market, that you're out there actively looking at these houses as quickly as you can, because there are some price ranges that are just moving much quicker than others. And for the most part, houses are selling very quickly. We've been very spoiled for a very long time. So we got pretty accustomed to houses selling in a day because the past couple of years it's been like that. But for any of you that have been in the market prior to that, you know that a house selling in one day is not always the norm. So if your house is still on the market and it's been more than a day, it's okay. Your house is going to sell, I promise you. So we just need to make sure though that we are keeping an eye on the price, keeping an eye on what we can do to improve it and what we can do for marketing and to get the agents in there. But your house is going to sell, I promise you that. It may not have sold as quickly as Mary Jo down the road, but it's going to sell. I know it's extremely frustrating and we all want everything right now. That's just the world that we're living in. But unfortunately, it doesn't always just work that way. But the stars will align and everything will work out for you. And I think for the most part, everybody is still doing really great with this whole COVID virus. They've been very respectful. They've been wearing masks more, I think, and everybody is following whichever rules the sellers prefer. You have some sellers that want you to wear a mask, some sellers are just telling you to sanitize on your way in and out. But everybody has been super respectful, and I think that's extremely important in a crisis like we're having right now. So that's all I've got for you this week. And if you have any questions, just feel free to give me a call. And I hope you have a wonderful week.